Hiya, good morning. I'm continuing with this painting, putting some more detail into it, and I've decided to do a bit more to the sunflowers now. And while I'm happy with that sunflower painting over there, none of the sunflowers really are what I want to do on this one. So I found one, I found an image on my phone that I'm going to use for one of the sunflowers anyway. That one there I'm going to use as the information, the reference for the bottom one there. That's my plan. So let's see how it goes. So far it's just acrylic that's on there, so I'm going to use oil paint. I've put out some cadmium yellow and cadmium yellow hue, I think that is, and then this is lemon yellow. So I'll use those and maybe other colours to darken the centre, we'll see, in order to make it read something like that. I thought it was after setting it so that the screen didn't turn off, but I'm not sure if that's happening now. Okay. I was using the gerbera earlier as well to paint from, and I'll go back to that to finish off this one and that one there. But I just wanted to bring some of the sunflower yellow out. I thought I had saved the screen. You know the way you can make the screen stay on for ages? I don't know why it's doing this now. I suppose it's no harm in a way. I might need to work faster. All right. Okay, I think that should be it now. Right. Put the palette on my knee. And the brushes. Try and get everything as close as I can to myself here. And really, like, I would rather have the cheese. Oh, bugger. Do you know what happened there? Was the face of the phone fell into the oil paint, for goodness sake. I was going to say, ideally what I'd like is for the phone to be balanced on something. I'll just lift that up. Right, let's see what the damage is. My new phone. It's all red paint in the corner. Do you know what? No, I'm not going to turn off the video. I'm just going to clean it up. And hopefully it'll stay working. If the oil paint hasn't got into anything important. Do you know the camera told me earlier, clean your lens. Isn't it gas how they know, like, to get clearer photographs, clean your lens. Let's clean my hands too. Just putting the paint back on again. Actually, I do need to get myself a good, I need to get myself a decent, oh come on, why is it not coming now? Oh yeah, I need to get myself a decent cover for the phone. What do you call that? A screen protector and all that kind of thing. Right, so that's what it is. And I had it sitting there and the blessed thing fell, so hopefully no, it's not going to fall this time. I'm just going to trust. Okay. I don't know where the masking tape is, and I prefer to just get going with this now rather than to delay anymore. Okay, so this is the low odor tarps, is what that is. And I've got one of my burgundy brushes, the short one, because it's really quite, it chips in well. It allows you, you know, it's quite firm as well. It's like almost like a palette knife, really, these brushes are. Okay. So I think I will deepen the tone of just find out where the dark areas of the yellow sunflower are located by using a mix of burnt umber and ultramarine blue and just making it really quite thin. That's it there. Just to kind of locate where I want the darks to be in the sunflower here. Well, certainly I want the centre to be dark, so I can begin by explaining the shape of the centre of the sunflower. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it as big proportionally as the one in the photo, but I want to give it a similar shape. See that? That's a bit annoying, isn't it, having to touch it all the time, but I guess it keeps me lively. Reframe everything, that's what they say, isn't it? Lily ended up going to school. First she said she's not going in because today is the last day before the holidays and they're just going to be, it's called the big day. They're doing all kinds of activities and stuff. And after I phoned in to say she wasn't going to be in, next thing she said, Mum, I'm actually going in. So I just took her in there. It's good though, that, I'm glad that she's even going in on a day when they're not going to be doing very much. I think it's good to get into the routine of it. And they'll be doing a whole school walk around the John Clark estate, which is actually lovely. I think it's lovely anyway. Maisie was banned from there for a while because she chased some sheep. Mortifying. When she was very, very young. The farmer was very understanding and he said none of the sheep were pregnant or anything, they were okay. But the warden was called. Somebody walking a dog called the warden and he banned us from walking there. I had no intention of going back there now, to be honest, not with Maisie. I mean, I can go back, I'm not banned. It's just Maisie. Right, so I've put in a little bit of cadmium yellow into the blue and brown mix that I used for the centre. And now I'm making the areas where the petals are quite dark, so that when I put on the light petals they'll stand out even more. With any luck. I thought I was being smart there, getting in before it lost its brightness, but it just disappeared. Okay. There's a few more bits that I do want to dark. I was going to say I'll just go on to the bright now, but actually I want to be sure that I've got enough darks in before heading to the brighter ones. So there's a shape in between the petals that's really quite dark there. And there's another petal that overlaps it that's bright. So that's there, and then there's one, where is that now? There. Oh, I should be taking photos as well, that's the other thing. I said I'd do an article on this, so I'm doing step-by-step photos as I work. As you can see, I'm maybe not doing that yet. I haven't yet done that, so I better take one just now. Not really making any sense at all at the moment, but it will. It will make sense. I'll just go back to my photos. Okay. And there's another area of dark that I could do with finding. It's over here, and it's a triangle. It's there. And then there's a dark background behind that really bright petal. There's the background shadows are there, and it helps to locate the brightness of that petal in front. And I think I'll put a little bit of the blue background over here as well. So as though there's a dark leaf over here. Let me just see what's happening there. we've got that, and there's a bright petal here. Yeah, underneath the bright petal it's quite dark. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the one that's here, but I'm using what'll work from the painting, from the detail of this painting. I'm using what I think will work to help bring detail to this one. Right, so I just put in some more turps because it was taking so long to spread the oil paint that it was starting to annoy me. But maybe it didn't need to be quite that wet. Okay, so if I wash my brush now and I bring up a colour, I don't know, should I work up to the light or just go straight for it? I think I might work up to it a bit with some orangey red first, because I can see some areas that are mid-tone, not quite the brightest, but not the darkest either. So I'm going to put some of those colours in as I work up to the light, as I say. So here there's a nice warm triangle, something orangey. So I've mixed cadmium red with cadmium yellow to make that colour, and of course the brownish shades that are underneath as well. I'm going to bring it closer. I think the thing is that the light behind seems to be affecting the tones in the picture. Oh, there it's gone. Right, so there's some orange there, there's some orange there, and there's a touch of something a bit lighter there too, maybe a bit more reddish. And then that one. This to me looks a bit orangey too. I'll take another photo there now because I've put in something like the mid-tone, and the next job is to do the brightness. Just take a photo, will you? Okay. Go back to the photo I was working from. Bit of a palaver this morning. Thanks for bearing with me if you are. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do now is clean my brush so that I can pick up some nice bright yellow and see if we can make this read as a sunny sunflower. And the bright yellow I'm going to use is lemon yellow mixed with the cadmium yellow. I think the two colours together allow for the brightness of the sunflower's brightest petals. Let's see, and I think the brush is fairly clean. You want it really to be completely clean, but it hasn't. I don't think it has affected the colour of the brightness of the yellow. You see there was too much lemon yellow in that, so I put some more cadmium yellow in. And I love this part. It's applying the thick buttery paint onto those sunniest petals, and there's something very pleasing about that. Let's see now. So before deciding whether it's working or not, I'm going to do it in a few places. But I don't want there to be so much texture in this. I'm not happy with your view there. I feel like there's something weird about the lighting. Right, so that's there. And then there's a triangular bright one here that does have a touch more of the lemon yellow about it. There is some way of making the screen stay, but I haven't discovered it, obviously, for my new phone. I know how to do it on the iPad, I think. At least I remember doing it once anyway. That time when I was painting Claire Balding here in this living room for the Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Week thing they did over lockdown. That was the time somebody messaged me and told me how to make the image stay, because I was having to do this every time. And I saw that I was struggling, trying to talk, and like the whole thing was quite something that that Portrait Artist of the Week, I was delighted to meet Claire and she was really lovely. I just felt that I had too much to do as well as paint, between downloading the memory cards even and setting up the cameras beforehand and all that was involved in that. And then not getting a photograph of her beforehand. So I had to do the photo live. And then the thing was that I had to take the photo when we were live, from a screenshot, And it was okay, I got one that I was happy enough with, but then I kept doing this, gone black. So my friend, I think it was Bridget from Ireland, sent me a message, and the first break I had to change the settings according to her instructions. So I was really glad of that. Very kind, isn't it, to go to the trouble. Okay. It was good to do it. I'm glad that I did that, and you can still see it on Facebook, actually, on the Sky Arts Facebook page, I think it is. If you look up Anya Devine Claire Balding. But there's loads of other artists, like Christian Hook, I think, painted. Who did he paint for that? Will Young, maybe? Although I'm not positive. But there was a lot of the artists from the series that got involved painting famous folk from their living rooms. So I think Christian was coming to us from Gibraltar. Right, so you can see now that the yellow is going on really thick, and that's a deliberate thing. If you've tuned in here before. If you've not tuned in here before, you're very welcome. My name is Anya Devine, and I'm coming to you from my living room in suburbia near Edinburgh. Not far from Roslin, if you know Roslin Chapel. And in the midst of beautiful countryside here. If you have tuned in before, you will know. What would you know if you've tuned in before? I can't remember what I was going to say now. What will you know if you've tuned in? You'll know that I talk a lot about using the paint thickly in the bright areas, being a good help to make the part read as being brighter. So using thinner paint in the dark areas and thick paint for the light, where the light is falling. And the light here is falling on the petals. And so the petals are nice and thick, the bright coloured ones. I'm trying to touch the screen. I'm trying to touch the painting instead of the screen. Funny mixed up all thing. Okay, so I'm going to use some, every so often I go for a bit more of the lemon yellow, because it makes for a slightly more brighter colour, and some of these petals are marginally brighter than others. So those are the ones that I'm injecting a little bit more lemon yellow into. Trying to, anyway. And then there's another. I'm not sure if some of these petals are actually connected with other flowers in this painting, but put them in anyway, sure. It's all the way over there. Okay. Now I feel like I want to create some bit more of a connection between the centre of the sunflower and the outside. And I guess if another photograph is in order. There's quite a bit happened there now, isn't there? Quite a bit happened between the last stage and this stage with all that yellow going on. I'm pleased with my new camera. Although I better make sure I do keep cleaning the lens, especially after that drop into the oil palette. I'm pleased with the new camera on my phone. The old phone, the camera was completely banjaxed. Okay. We're getting places with it. Like, I think the thing with the oil paint is that it just adds a bit of substance to. Right, so I'm going to go back now and get the photo up again. And continue my efforts to combine the petals with the center. The center of the flower in my reference is bigger in relation to the petals, so I think I'll do something about that. Finding some more midtones and before deciding whether to go back and increase the center or not. There's some little bits that are a touch brighter. Yeah, so I am going to let the center read a little bit bigger than it is by putting the bits where the petal touches the center to the left a bit here. So there's a couple of little shining bits of sunflower petals that are meeting the center brightly. And this is kind of overlapping the seeded center, so I want to heighten that. And then there's a little one here and a couple of more bright petals here, and, brightish, and here. Once the decisions have already been made for you, it makes it easier. And I like this picture of the sunflower. It feels kind of blousy, so the decisions there have been made for me. And it makes the job of transferring the information a bit simpler then. I'm just going to deepen the tone. And rather than change from the yellow on that brush, I'm going to use a new brush to deepen the dark in the center of the sunflower again with some ultramarine blue and burnt umber. It makes a good deep dark colour. I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to trust that you trust me that it made a good dark colour. Here it is. More blue in it, the darker it reads actually, so I've let it be bluer more than brown. And then there's the curving shape where the petal overlaps the centre. I like to try and find those negative spaces where the centre stops and the petals begin, in such a way that I'm capturing this particular flower as truthfully as I can. I mean, I have kind of located some of the petals a bit weirdly. For some reason that's way too low there. I left that up a bit. I don't know why I would have dropped that down. Because almost all of it is higher than the centre of the flower is. Of course I did lift the centre of the flower up a little bit too. Anyway, thicker and thicker the paint goes, so it'll take a long time to dry, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to carve off a bit of the underside of that now so the petal isn't so big. up even a little bit more. There's a couple of more kind of nuanced bits that I want to get in betweeny bits here. So there's some that's quite bright here, or brighter than it is at the moment. And then a very bright patch. That's really lemon yellow there. I think I might be stopping soon on that one. Let me just take a photograph of it. Let's see. And do you know what I'm humming now? Is a song that I used for a sunflower reel on Instagram called Sunflower. I'm a sunflower. Na, 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 na. At least I think I used it for that. Okay, so let's take a photo of this stage. See if I want to do any more to it. And just show you what it looks like there. You know, I think it's reading as a sunflower, and especially when I pull back and see the rest of the still life in relation to it. I don't think I want to go into any more detail on that particular one until I've brought some more detail into the others. Okay, so you might be impressed at my camera work. I've got the thing attached to the to a swiveling seat, and so it's able to move to and from the picture. I'm quite pleased with myself. I've decided, you know, these days to start with yoga. No, to not start with yoga and meditation, but to start by getting up and doing some painting. Just getting up and doing it, not thinking about it. There's this kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing where as soon as you start to swither about something, you just go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So your mind is taken off by the counting, and by that time you've got the paintbrush in your hand and you're starting, and then it's fine. It's not like there's any big deal. So there's another song. Maybe I'll do a flower every morning. How about that? I've also got a watercolor commission on the go, so I'm going to tidy everything away here. And my idea is to listen to a podcast when I'm doing the watercolor commission, because I'm sitting at the table for that. And there are so many brilliant podcasts on that kind of is the thing that makes me inspired to sit and do my commission. But first, I'm going to, I need to take Erin over to the garage. Her car had its MOT yesterday, and so it's ready for collection. What else am I going to do? Package and post the sunflower, take Maisie for a walk. I do want to do yoga, but you know, the back garden, the grass isn't yet sunny. I was thinking, would I have the nerve to go at the front? There's lovely, lovely sunny grass in the trees at the front there. And sure, I'd say people wouldn't bother looking at me. I might just do that, go over in my pyjamas, because I love standing in the sun. And in the summertime, the sun hits the garden, no bother. But now that it's into autumn again, it's making its way down the studio wall there. You can see out the back, but it's not going to be there for another hour, I'd say. I mean, my head would be in the sun, but my body would be shivering. And it's quite a nice thing in the morning to do yoga facing the sunshine. Just 10 minutes, like. But yesterday what I did was 10 minutes in the morning, and then a 10-minute meditation. And then later on in the evening, 10 minutes and a 10-minute meditation. And that was quite good. To have 2 little sessions of it. It still didn't stop me staying up until 2:30. I watched a movie, Enchanting Everlasting Moments, about a photographer. It was really nice. A little bit harrowing, but nice all the same. So that was that. Yeah, so there's this kind of habit of staying up a bit late. I had 2 coffees in the evening yesterday, so I set myself the intention today of what I do differently tomorrow. That was one of my questions for this mindfulness and writing course. We've got 2 questions at the end of every day. What went well today? And what could I do differently tomorrow? So yesterday what went well was, there's a load of things that went well, but one of my favourite moments, ours, was when I went over to Flotterston Reservoir with Erin on the bike at 7 o'clock and in for a swim. And it was Erin's first time coming with me. And we had a lot of fun. It was lovely. She didn't actually have the swim because she had so many things to take off and put on again. But I did go in. And the water there feels kind of syrupy, silky against your skin. The reservoir is different altogether from the cutting sharpness of the sea, which I love as well, of course. So that's the story. Now I'm going to head away. And thanks for tuning in here. And stay in touch. Maybe you could even put some suggestions as to what you'd like to see happening. With my friend says I've got pathical demand avoidance, though, which means that I probably won't do whatever anyone asks me to do, but do something entirely different. I have that trouble with myself. I tell myself I'm going to do one thing and then I do another. But it helps to write it down. And I think there's something about the creative spirit that calls for that rebellion. Because when you're halfway through a painting, you don't want to be knowing what's going to happen all the way through, the outcome being so predicted. I want to be surprised. And this is a world of surprise. I was thinking that yesterday, walking out in the grass there. It was like these golden fronds of grass seeds were applauding and saying, encore, live on. There's something about us. This is a magical time of year. It's like it's overflowing with abundance, and there's such a fullness. And like it feels like everything is drenched in excess, almost intoxicating. Like the trees are cascades of leaves hanging down and bright sunshine drawing the light out of them. It's just such a blissful thing. And feeling completely part of it, because we kind of are, aren't we? We can't take ourselves off it, like, unless you go to the moon. But even then, there seems to be some sort of plasma-like connection. It feels like syrupy plasma. Anyway, enough of that chat now. Honest to God. If you did stay this far, thanks very much. Have a lovely day, and I'm just looking at the sun shining out there. I'm going to take Maisie out, I reckon. Maybe I'll do my yoga across there. I might summon up the gumption to make a public display of myself. See ya.